Hi, Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. Sometimes I find it interesting to trace the lineage of an idea as it has developed. In this case, I actually can. First, there was this one, which was inspired by an article in American Woodturner, where it was looking for a spiral, but varying the number of segments in each row in order to get the spiral effect that you see in this vase. From there it went to an oval bowl, again varying the number of segments, but in this time it was so that I could have a full segment at the edge of the oval, which, by the way, is a matter of taking a bowl, cutting it in half, and gluing it together this way. So that in turn has led to the idea of this project, which is to take the half bowl but with a good wood appropriate for the project, and then turn it into just a quarter oval bowl, if that's work, but it will go like that. Now, I'll show you the completed project at the end. You'll have to wait for that, but let's turn another, not sure what to call it, but here it is.
Now to the table saw with my second generation wedgie sled, 3D printed templates, and a digital protractor for when I do not have the right template. Contrary to most segmenting videos that you may see, I have a guard over the saw blade. Still, it always pays to pay attention. After cutting one ring segments, I start gluing them together in pairs and let them sit while I cut the next set. This is the rub joint technique I learned from a master pattern maker. Then glue them together, working up to half rings. At the half ring point, I true them on the disc sander and glue the halves together. In all, I glued up 8 rings with segment counts from 6 to 20 segments. At this point, the first 2 have solid wood centers glued in. I am ready to start stacking and gluing the rings. It is important in this project to align one joint in each ring. There are an even number of segments in each ring. This gives me the opportunity to eventually cut at the joint, which will leave a full segment on each side of the cut. Ring number 3, now with 10 segments, being glued to ring number 2 with 8 segments. I mark the target joint for alignment to avoid a mistake in the frantic pace of gluing. Ring number 4 with 12 segments. I have faced off each previous ring to a thickness that, if I have figured it right, will give a consistent visual length along the future exterior curve. Since I'm building this up ring by ring, it does not make sense to wait until everything is glued together before starting to hollow it. However, I do need to work according to my plan. I printed a circle template to guide the interior hollowing. I start with a spindle gouge while the corners make it rougher going. Then, when close, switch to a round nose scraper. I love how easy it is to cut continuous side grain. I sand here. Ring number 5 with 14 segments. My Longworth chuck does a good job of aligning rings while gluing. Ring number 6 with 16 segments. With 2 more rings glued on, it is time to extend the hollowing. Here, again, I'm using my spindle gouge initially before switching to the round nose scraper. I sand again here. On to ring number 8 with 20 segments. All rings are glued. After letting it dry at least overnight, I can tackle the final hollowing. This time the sides are straight and I select a box scraper. This helps to cut straight parallel sides, especially in this continuous side grain. I am also using Ron Brown's stabilizer. The bowl is hanging way out from the spindle and I cannot afford a catch. Then finish up with the round nose scraper. Then sand and apply wipe-on poly to the interior. I can finally start the exterior turning. I actually could have started earlier, but it would have hidden the alignment joint, so I held off until now. With a faceplate on the live center to stabilize the bowl, I am using my bowl gouge. While there are still points at segment joints, I cut gradually and carefully. Then once the cut is continuous and the grain on each side of each joint is supported, I can cut as aggressively as I want. However, I alternate between push cuts, bowl cuts, shear cuts. Near the end, the cuts are almost all shear cuts. then sand and apply wipe-on poly. I've too much into this project to risk a UFO while parting it off. I still need to trim the foot. I have hot melt glued another large faceplate to the rim. Then it is easy to mount to a jig and saw at the foot. I could have used a handsaw, but I like this way at the bandsaw. Masking tape protects the finished wood from the hot melt glue holding the bowl to the faceplate. With the original faceplate removed, I can now finish the foot area. This is spindle gouge work. I keep the padded live center in place as long as I can. At the bandsaw, marks on tape indicate which is the target joint for cutting. All that is left now is to sand and finish the joint. As I assemble the pieces together into the diorama, I like how it is coming together. The Christus is a miniature replica of the original by Bertel Thorvaldsen. The Star of Maple unifies his resurrection with his birth and guides us to him. The empty tomb is a half bowl of maple. The tray on the ground is bloodwood, which represents his blood shed for us. The tree of life of brass wire is of many colors, signifying his invitation to all people. He invites all to come to him and partake together of the tree of life. This will be displayed in an Easter exhibit. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my website as well as on YouTube. Please spread the word by telling your friends about my weekly videos. I also appreciate your comments and questions. Please wear your full face shield. You know what's coming whenever the lathe is running. And I hate to nag, but yeah, are you wearing yours at the lathe?